The Madrid summit just became China's economic Waterloo. Trump's negotiators didn't just win, they demolished Beijing's entire trade strategy. Tariffs are crushing their exports. American manufacturing is exploding. The shipbuilding industry can't hire fast enough, and now the Supreme Court is about to make Trump's tariff powers permanent law. Stock markets hitting record highs while Trump publicly humiliates Fed Chair Powell. Jerome Too Late Powell, he mocks, adding, when asked about the replacement, other than I don't like him. China came to Madrid thinking they'd negotiate. Instead, they got an ultimatum. Xi Jinping is going to be calling Trump on Friday, not to bargain, but to accept the terms. This isn't trade policy, it's economic conquest, so watch closely. Now, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, because we recently covered a company called Western Star Resources here on the channel, a gold and silver exploration company we believe has serious potential for U.S. expansion. Well, it looks like that move is already in motion. Western Star just signed an MOU with the American Corp to push forward their U.S. growth strategy, and here's why the timing's important. With domestic demand for precious metals climbing year after year, and with the U.S. government making it clear they want more homegrown exploration instead of relying on foreign supply, companies like Western Star are in a prime position. Now, this is not just about mining. It's about national security, economic stability, and capturing a huge market opportunity. Western Star's expertise combined with a supportive policy environment means that they're stepping into the U.S. market under the best possible conditions. Could a huge U.S. expansion be next? I would not bet against it. Western Star Resources is making gold and silver great again. You can find out more by visiting the link in the description, westernstarresources.com. And we appreciate their support of our program. Now, the United States and China have reached a framework agreement to switch TikTok to U.S.-controlled ownership, with President Trump set to speak with Chinese President Xi on September 19th. Let's go to the Treasury Secretary.
As ambassador, we have a framework for a TikTok deal. The two leaders, President Trump and Party Chair Xi, will speak on Friday to complete the deal, but we do have a framework for a deal with TikTok. Getting to this framework was made possible by President Trump and the high regard that President Trump has for Party Chair Xi. So when the leaders have mutual respect, then the delegations have mutual respect. And as Ambassador Greer said, we were in substantial contact with President Trump last night and then again today. Yet we're not going to talk about the commercial terms of the deal. It's between two private parties, but the commercial terms have been agreed upon.
The commercial terms have been agreed upon. I'm really curious to find out who is going to be acquiring TikTok. Looks like we have, Brian Stelter weighing in. With the next TikTok deadline looming, Trump just said, we may let it die or we may. I don't know. It depends. It's up to China. Well, it looks like that deal has been made.
Agnostic about. The president just spoke about this moments ago when he's on the way back to Washington from his resort in Bedminster. He said he is working toward an agreement with China about TikTok, but he also said, quote, we may let it die or we may, I don't know. It depends. It's up to China. So the president sounding agnostic about the future of the app, according to CNN's Kevin Liptak, but he did credit the app with helping him to win re-election in 2024. So Trump is saying he would like to keep TikTok online to, quote, for the kids. He knows he likes it. He knows the kids like it, he said. So he's recognizing the incredible popularity of TikTok, but he does seem somewhat agnostic about the future. Now, Trump has already extended the...
Now, if you've ever spent any time on TikTok, it's basically a lot of brain rot. I mean, it really depends on, how much time you spend there, what the algorithmic detection picks up about what you're watching, and it takes you down a rabbit hole. And with the radical indoctrination of our youth, it's terrifying when you think about the rabbit holes that they're going down. Now, 60 Minutes recently did a piece our producer Todd sent it to me. Basically, it explains how in China, what TikTok presents to its people is all science and exploration and patriotism of their nation. But that's what they show. That's what the algorithm shows in China. But the same app in the United States shows trans this and all kinds of just garbage that eats at the fabric of our society. So in my opinion, TikTok is really just a Trojan horse to destroy the United States. So it's a good thing that we're seeing it be taken over by a U.S. company. The question is who and what will they do with that algorithm to make that platform better. This is also from Madrid. China's Vice Minister of Commerce Li Changgang confirmed at a briefing that U.S. and Chinese delegations reached a framework consensus. Secret trade talks.
And trade. Good afternoon, press. We appreciate your presence and continued interest in U.S.-China trade discussions. Over the past 2 days, high-level U.S. and Chinese delegations held productive talks in Madrid, Spain, addressing critical economic matters. Both sides actively implemented the consensus reached by our two heads of state, leveraging the established U.S.-China trade consultation mechanism. Based on mutual respect and equal consultation, we held candid, in-depth and constructive discussions on a wide range of economic and trade issues, including TikTok. Both sides recognize that a stable, predictable US-China economic and trade relationship is vital for the prosperity of both countries and has a major impact on global economic stability and development. As two major countries with different development stages and economic systems, it is normal for the US and China to encounter disagreements and friction in extensive trade cooperation. The key, however, is to consistently respect each other's core interests and concerns, diligently working towards proper, mutually acceptable solutions through ongoing dialogue and consultation. Regarding the TikTok issue, the Chinese side has consistently opposed the politicization, instrumentalization, and weaponization of technology and trade issues, and will never seek to reach any agreement at the expense of our principled positions, corporate interests, and international fairness and justice. The Chinese side will resolutely safeguard our national interests and the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese companies, and will conduct technology export reviews in accordance with laws and regulations. At the same time, the Chinese government fully respects the company's intentions and supports them in conducting equal commercial negotiations based on market principles. During these discussions, both parties engaged in a candid and in-depth exchange of views regarding TikTok and the specific concerns raised by the Chinese side, and successfully achieved a basic framework consensus aimed at cooperatively resolving all TikTok-related issues, reducing existing investment barriers, and actively promoting relevant trade cooperation. The dedicated teams from both sides will continue to maintain close and ongoing communication, diligently negotiate the intricate details of the relevant outcome documents, and
President Trump excited about the tariffs.
In the history, we have two things. We've been successful because of the tariffs. It's given us a great power to negotiate with other countries that took advantage of us. Tremendous power. Also, it's brought in trillions of dollars into our country. We have a big case brought by foreign governments because the foreign governments have been ripping us off for years, and it's now in the Supreme Court. That case is really important to win because it's made us a rich country. It's made us a rich country. Because I don't want to call it retribution, but we've been ripped off.
Trying to rebalance.
We've been ripped off for years by countries and by having presidents that were not smart in a business sense. I'm not saying they were good politicians, but they were stupid businessmen. They allowed the world to rip us off. If we don't, that Supreme Court case is so important. And frankly, this economy, if we win the tariff case, which we should on the legal merits, but on common sense, we would have to give back trillions of dollars
to these countries.
What can you imagine?
All those deals.
We would have to give back trillions and trillions of dollars because we got it because of tariffs. That case is one of the most important cases in the history of our. We have two.
President Trump looking at the stock market.
again. It's happening. But I chose to do it. I love doing it because we're going to make America great again. It's happening. So look at the stock market. We've had the stock market hitting record highs every day. Never been higher. People, last night at the Yankee game, the cops are coming over to me. I love the police here. I love them all over the place, frankly. Sir, you've made me look like a genius. My wife finally respects me. My 401k is through the roof. He said, she thinks I'm a financial genius. I made him into a financial genius.
And U.S. shipbuilding industry is booming and creating a huge demand for skilled workers. U.S. Department of Labor posting this 7 hours ago.
For Kenneth Moore, welding is something new.
I learned how to use a stick for the welding and also learning how to balance my stand, also holding the rod in order to keep it steady.
All skills needed out in the field and taught here at the Tidewater Community College's Skilled Trades Academy. For another student, Tobin Champney, the skills he's learning are more than just for the job. They're a foundation for life.
Everywhere you look, there's welds, there's beads everywhere. It's supporting this whole building up, so it feels pretty good.
According to the American Welding Society, right now there are over 771,000 welding professionals in the United States. Over 320,000 welding professionals will be needed by 2029. Mike Vanderwerf is the program manager for the academy. Located in the heart of Portsmouth's shipbuilding industry, he says the academy partners with local companies to ensure students are job ready.
We actually meet face to face, shake hands, come and visit. Companies come in, hire our students right out of the welding booth. They'll use my office for the interview, and the students leave that day for the job.
The school is located right in the epicenter of marine.
Skilled workers making a comeback. NBC, look at this, claims that Lisa Cook suddenly exonerated because of a loan estimate she got 2 months before the closing is false. James Fishback posting this. Lisa Cook still in the crosshairs. You don't declare anything on a loan estimate. It's non-binding. The word declare doesn't even appear on the page. It's purely an estimate. NBC News. Lisa Cook declared in financial forms that her Atlanta property would be used as a vacation home, not her primary residence. But that's something different, right? Here's President Trump blasting Jerome Powell.
We've ever had. I call him Too Late. His nickname is Too Late, okay? Jerome Powell. Jerome Too Late Powell. Too late on the interest rate. It's always late, except when it came to a Democrat, because before the election, he dropped the interest rates to try and help Kamala Harris, I guess. I assume that's why, because he shouldn't have dropped the interest rates then. He should have dropped. But he's a year late. And despite that, we have the best economy we've ever had. We have the best stock market we've ever had. In other words, what we've created is so strong. We have $17 trillion going to be invested in this country. Think of it. They didn't have, they had nothing. They had people leaving our country. We have the greatest boom in the history, and that's why the stock market went up 700 points yesterday.
Inflation is down.
Inflation's down. Well, I have low inflation. Yeah. He had the highest inflation in history. I call him
too late for sure. Get those interest rates down. Let's get this country back on track. Here's President Trump 24 hours ago being asked about the Fed chair.
Any progress on the Fed chair, Minister?
Well, other than I don't like him.
No, but
he's incompetent. The Fed chairman's incompetent. Sure, I have three people that I like a lot. Any one of them would do a good job.
Mr. President, one more on Venezuela.
But I think you have a big cut. Because I don't think he can help with cutting. It's perfect for cutting. And the thing that he's hurting the most is housing for people. But because we're doing well in everything. Energy's way down. Groceries are down. Everything, almost everything is way down. But housing, because of the Fed, is not what it should be.
Any progress on the Fed chair?
Yep. He needs to get those rates down. U.S. and Chinese officials conducted first day of talks in Madrid. TikTok's getting sold. The framework has been reached. Friday is the day. President Trump stating, subject to SEC approval, companies and corporations should no longer be forced to report on a quarterly basis, rather report on a 6-month basis. Will save money, allow managers to focus on properly running their companies. You ever hear of a statement like that? China has 50, 100-year view on management of a company, whereas we run our companies on a quarterly basis. Not good. President Trump also running a big trade meeting in Europe between the United States of America and China, gone very well. it will be concluding shortly. A deal was reached on a certain company young people in our country very much wanted to save. Talking about TikTok. Here's more on that from Ambassador Greer.
Leverage he provides. I have to say, too, that President Trump played a role in this. We had a call with him last night. We had specific guidance from him. We shared it with our Chinese counterparts. And without his leadership and the leverage he provides, we would not have been able to conclude the deal today.
Yes, as Ambassador Greer said, that the getting to this framework was made possible by President Trump and the high regard that President Trump has for Party Chair Xi. So when the leaders have mutual respect, then the delegations have mutual respect.
So we're going to wait and see who bought TikTok. The economy is roaring back. President Trump on fire about the Fed. Shipbuilding's coming back, and so is America. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This is economic warfare at its finest, patriots. Trump turning tariffs into tactical nukes and forcing China to negotiate on our terms. We've been successful because of tariffs, he declared. The proof's in the numbers. Record stock market highs while China scrambles to save face. The Supreme Court case on tariffs could lock in America's economic dominance for generations. Meanwhile, Trump openly mocking Jerome Too Late Powell. When asked about replacing the Fed chair, he says, I got 3 others. That's power. The TikTok framework deal proves Beijing can be broken. Friday is going to be a big day. The Trump-Xi call isn't a negotiation. It's China's surrender ceremony. So here's my question. Should Trump use tariffs to force all American companies to leave China within 12 months? Yes or no? Drop your answer below. Because America First is not a slogan. It's a battle plan. You can support the fight by checking out our merch shop linked down below. This is Gary Franchi for the Next News Network.